Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of GenrePlay. And today we're doing DC20. Greg is going to be our GM. Tell him what we got. What are we doing DC20 flavor this time around?
We are doing Star Wars DC20. It took extremely minimal changes, actually, to the DC core rules. Just taking into account we had to change a few things, like common is galactic basic, but a lot of common sense stuff like that. Other than that, we added a few more weapons. There's a new Force user class and some ancestries. But that's about it for the changes to DC20. There's some other trades too, like engineer and stuff. So
we're gonna do our best not to get sued by Disney.
Yeah, well, as long as we don't monetize it, I think we'll be fine.
This is a fan production.
Monetize the rules. Yeah. Yeah.
Star bars is what it's called, right? Star bars.
Star bars. But other than that, I think we can jump right into the game. If you are ready.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Already. A long, very long, longer than normal time ago, in a galaxy the same distance away.
Is it the scrolling text across the screen? Yeah. long.
I was waiting for you to do that. Long.
Yeah. This is taking place around 5,000, a little after 5,000 BBY, just after the Great Hyperspace War. All of you be familiar with that. The war that occurred, the first major war between the Sith and the Republic. Before that, there was an exodus of dark Jedi that went and found the Sith homeworld and interbreeded with them, and that's when they became the Sith, I believe. But this happened way after that. During 5,000 BBY, there's a great hyperspace war. The war has ended with the Republic winning. However, this takes place in part of unknown space, away from all that. Who should we start with? Let's start with Asus and Bushwawar Gram.
You almost got it.
You, especially Asus, have been tracking down a certain quirk boot knocker who you know was a traitor to the Sith during the war, gave invaluable information to the Republic that allowed them to have quite a few successes in battles. Though you weren't necessarily part of those battles, you did hear of him a lot. And you also heard that he was disappeared, as the Sith sometimes call it. You spent quite a couple of months tracking down just quite what that means. Going through some information networks, talking to some people, and you came to realize that a lot of times when the Sith disappear someone without outright executing them, it means they send them off on a dinky little ship, a little pod, into a nebula, and they're basically never to be seen again. You did hear workings that this nebula was originally part of the Rakata Empire, an ancient empire that was the height of its empire at around 20,000 BBY, but has since fallen into decay. And the only Rakata that have been seen since are savage, having lost all their technology and losing a lot of their intellect as well. But nonetheless, you are on your way into the nebula. You have your little ship. You are, after all, just an apprentice. You're not really provisioned decent ships or anything like that, so you scrounged what you can. It's a nice little ship. It has a single laser turret, some basic shields. The main feature of it that's useful is it has a hyperdrive on it. And you and Bushwar, whatever, is
you can call him Grom. It's okay.
Are headed into this we're headed into, this is all past tense. We're headed into this nebula. Now, going back in time when this is occurring, there won't be much narrative control over this scene, but you all know that, you entered it and you came to what was a large ship If I were to bring that ship up and share it real quick, it would look like this. As you see it floating within the nebula. I don't know why there's a planet behind it. That was my bad.
It's nebula smoke.
It's just like a big ball of nebula. And you see this ship. You see markings on it, a certain language, which I won't have you roll for it because you've learned some rudimentary Rakata preparing for this. And you can see that on the ship, you see the markings of what is clearly a prison. Knowing that you cannot take a ship like this, you decide that you would see what happens as these little drones come out and attach to your ship. You can feel them latch onto your ship, and it starts guiding your ship into one of its docking ports. You know you're going into a prison. They probably have pretty good security. What do you all do with your weapons or anything else, including your clothes or anything you want to be hidden? What do you want to hide? What do you want to do with it? How do you want to hide it? Or what do you just want to do at this moment before they take you in?
I'll leave my blaster pistol on the ship, and the only thing I'll take with me other than my clothes will be my lightsaber, which I'll just keep out of sight initially, and then if I need to do a little keep it out of sight while I'm being searched, I have an idea for that too. Okay. But initially, we'll just tuck it into a robe somewhere.
Go ahead and give a picture of your character and normally, and then what are you gonna wear going into this place?
Asus is a young human who looks like a Jedi Padawan. He is here unsanctioned. He's having sort of that situation of all of the older people who had authority were going to leave someone who helped us. I didn't know in prison, but basically to squander in prison, to squander in the nebula. And I said, that's not right. And I struck out with my friend, and we're here to save him. So very much that there's good in the world. We have to be that good kind of optimism of a 17-year-old Jedi student.
Yep. And what are you gonna wear going into the prison? Are you wearing your Jedi robes? Are you trying to look like a different thing?
Jedi style robes, I guess, if you kind of think about aesthetically what they wear, but otherwise nothing to mark me as a Jedi. Just very plain brown. They cover my body. Okay. Any culture could wear something like this robes.
Okay. It's worth noting that during the time of the Old Republic, Jedi were known to actually wear like some decent armor sometimes and things like that.
I guess I do want to keep the
light armor.
Novice light armor that I have. That gives me +1 to defense.
Yeah.
That feels like a pretty reasonable thing to just wear in space that I don't expect to excite much skepticism, so I'll leave that on.
Okay. They do have Jedi issued ones, but we'll say yours is not Jedi issue because you're not really going in the name of the Jedi Council for this or anything like that anyway.
I took a scene record of the Jedi insignia while we were in the nebula.
Incognito Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah, Incognito Jedi. And then going to Grom. What is Grom? Well, first, what does Grom appear as?
He's a big old Wookiee. Got some.
Yeah.
Or maybe we call it a Dookie instead. No, anyway. In Star Wars. No, anyway, yeah, he's a Wookiee. Yeah. And yeah, sort of like that as a Wookiee. A little bit more dignified, if you will, or than maybe your Chewbacca usually seemed like. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to wear similar clothing and try not to be so Jedi looking, I guess. And
okay.
Yeah, and a lightsaber, I'll put it down my pants.
Okay. That's fine. Alrighty. So as you the drones that have attached to your ship. You can
I'm
look
trying
out the
so
window.
hard not to say, is that a lightsaber in your pocket? Or you
Yep,
have
yep.
to
Yeah,
see me.
it
If
just
they
happened
frisk
to
me,
see
that's what's going to happen.
Whoa! Do you see her?
I just really hope there's like a safety mechanism. Like I don't have to worry about going off.
It happens to 1 in 5. But yeah, the
Impale yourself with that lightsaber because you stuffed it in your pants.
it's like that comic where someone doesn't know how to use
geez.
Darth Maul's lightsaber, doesn't realize it's double bladed. But anyway, the drones that attach, you can look out, and they look to be like little spider drones that have these somewhat long legs that attached, and you can see one of them has hacked into your system and taken over the navigation to your ship as it pulls you into one of the hangars. You see the ancient doors open up. The ship itself has a bit of a dark hue, somewhat reflective, but you see different twisted shapes of twisted metal on it that look almost organic, like vines wrapping around something. However it was made is very strange and exotic. And as you head into the hangar, your ship is brought down to land as you see all these other spider drones of different shapes, a couple of walking drones that come up. They seem to have turrets out, all pointed at you, as they carry you off into an area to be. Before I get to that, you also look around and you see many other ships, derelict. Most of them look old, like they've been in this hangar for a long time. And they take you off onto up a ramp and into a bright white room. But before we go further with that, that's where you all will start this adventure. Quirk Buttnucker. You, on the other hand, right now, for some reason, are on Ziost, the last planet, the planet where they had their final stand against the Republic. You knew it was chancy, but you reported in the location of a hidden force that was supposed to do a flanking attack to the Republic. And you did. You succeeded. It was successful. But unfortunately for you, Sith intelligence also found out about it. You hear explosions happen in the background. As you can hear the battle of the troop that you gave the coordinates to are being attacked. You're on the ground though, injured. Not sure what caused it, but you don't feel like you can get up. You see a Sith intelligence officer, his lightsaber out, red and blazing, hooked up to a backpack to make his extra powerful. As you would know, that the ancient Sith actually used backpacks to power their lightsabers, but this guy just kept it around to give even more power to his saber, even at this time when it's no longer needed. And he's walking towards you. Next to you, you see a familiar Miraluka. Sarneth, a female Miraluka. That's the blind race that wears things over their eyes. And you can see that she's on your side saying, "What do we do? We're found out." And she looks at you like she wants your advice.
Well, okay. So I must have some sort of weapon on me now.
You reach for your weapon. It's a blaster rifle, and you can see it, but it's like 10 feet away.
Okay, tell me more about this Miralu. They're somewhat force sensitive, but can she like levitate my rifle to me?
She specifically has a little bit of the use of the force. You could ask her to try.
Yeah, I'll
As you reach out and you say to her to do that, right? You turn to her and she evaporates into air. And that's when you remember, no, she was disappeared a month ago. She was an assassin that would go to her target she was supposed to take out and instead put them into hiding so that they would think they were dead, working for the Republic. And you remember, no, she got disappeared. You turn the other way and you see another one of your friends, Xalrith. He disappears too. Valor, he disappears too. As you remember, these people have all been disappeared. The Sith, wearing all black, metal plates all the way up above his nose, big red veiny eyes, and stringy black hair hanging down. Gets waves a little in the air from an explosion going off some yards off. He still walks towards you. He raises his lightsaber up, and you wake up.
Oh, okay.
You are being dragged down a hall. You remember now why you were knocked out. You were knocked out because you were in a gladiator fight. This damn prison that you've been put in has gladiator fights that are supposedly broadcast, but you've never seen them before. And they put you up against a Trandoshan that was obviously going to beat the crap out of you. And they did. You got knocked out, and you're being dragged by a certain droid. You recognize the droid. You see a slash on it that's like a scratch on the back that's still there, which is odd because most droids get repaired for that kind of stuff. And he has little spider legs. And that is where 4D4 comes in. You are dragging the body of Quirk, who had just finished in the arena getting knocked out. You are taking him to the medical bay. Go ahead and describe Quirk, though, however you would like to.
Well, I think I'm really very pleased with the image you gave me. So I will just there we go. in battle, in his battle armor and everything. Yeah. I think that's pretty much what I had been envisioning from the get-go.
Right, but now
very man of
action. And now I imagine you have. Oh, this isn't the latest one. Oops, whatever. Now I imagine you have a longer beard, slightly longer hair, being in prison for a while. And then the one dragging him, 4D4. Do you want to describe what 4D4 looks like?
Yeah, he's a four-legged droid.
Basically. If you could say, like, how would a four-legged droid look? It'd be like, yeah, that's it.
Now, Greg, say his name in binary.
I don't know. I should know, but I don't. 0100. I don't know what D is.
You can actually say 01. No, you have to make the beeps and boops, dude. Come on.
Oh, that's right. Beep boop 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 beep boop.
Yeah, so I guess I have like a little lasso that I can like have around his feet.
Yes, currently you are lassoed. A little hole in your back, a little cable comes out, and you have his legs tied, just dragging him to the medical bay.
So as I'm walking towards the medical bay, I turn around and look down at him. It was a Trandoshan you said he got into a fight with?
Yeah. Well, it was part of the gladiator arenas that the prison puts on.
Oh, that's right. So I actually know about this kind of thing, huh?
Yeah, you know this happens.
Ha ha ha. I bet on the other guy.
Quirk, you've dealt with this droid before, you've recognized him, and you always thought he was a little odd. He's a little different from the other droids for some reason. A bit more personality than the other droids.
Where did you say you were from, human?
Boy, we never really did establish that much of my backstory.
Make it up wherever you want. It could be Korriban, Ziost, or it could just be Coruscant if you want, or anything like that.
Well, I told you long ago I was from Korriban.
Oh, it's too good.
It's a crossover.
Never been there. Is it pretty? Do you have beaches? My builders tell me that their home world had many beautiful beaches. I would love to see a beach.
Well, if you ever let me out, perhaps we can go there someday and I will show you.
Let you out? Out of what?
This prison.
Okay. You'll take me to the beach if I let you out?
I will take you to all the beaches you can handle.
As you're going through this hallway, taking him to the med bay, you see the force fields, and there's staged force fields, and every time you go up to one, your FOF goes off, and it opens up the force field, and you're able to drag him through. You hear it closing behind you. So it's almost just going through a series of force fields. FOF as in friend or foe.
Remember, my dear droid friend, you are just as much a prisoner as I am.
You continue on and you make it to the med bay when there is a medical droid there, so you wouldn't be able to talk in private at this point. He's put on the bed there and starts immediately going through some medical procedures once you hook him up to the bed and stuff. Back to Aces and Grom. You all head into this big white bright room, and you see in every single corner is a four-legged droid with a turret on top pointed towards you as you walk in. There's also a center counter place with two droids. They seem to be more humanoid, basic arms and legs, but they don't seem to be armed or anything like that. And you get in there, and suddenly both of you hear in your head, it's just like a whisper, a wisp. You're not even sure you understand it completely. It's just like, oh man. Strange. But nonetheless, you get in there, and the droid behind one of the two droids behind the counter says, you're pretty sure that was Ricotta. You can roll for it if you want. Grom has no idea.
Yeah.
Intelligence or charisma. Great.
Yep.
17. It's just intelligence or charisma, right? I don't add any bonuses from points, novice, expert, that sort of thing to languages.
No, I don't think so.
It's a D20 plus. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you have
17 is good enough. You can tell that they said clearly, put all your belongings on the counter and disrobe.
Real quick, Marks, what is Grom's, not story, you don't have to go into all of it, but I'm a Padawan, you are a Jedi.
You would know he's a Padawan too.
I'm probably
Force
a Padawan
Wookiee.
too.
Okay.
We're both level 1, so I should be like, I'm a master, which is not very good.
I wasn't.
But you're both from the Jedi Order. You are both from the Jedi Order. I should have set it up. You all would have been friendly. When you went on this quest, Grom always had a strange liking towards you, and he tended to follow you around to help you on stuff.
Got it. So, like, what genre? Like, kind of a school drama. You're the best friend. I come in through your window one day and say, "Hey, I want to do this. Number 2, you want to come along?"
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I've told you or not, but for Grom, you remind him of his younger brother who was lost or disappeared.
Got it.
So that's why.
That dual dynamic of, I feel like Asus might, and correct me if I'm wrong, Asus might be the front man, feel like he's the more outgoing one. Meanwhile, you feel like you're the big brother, so both people feel like they're...
Yeah. Well, what's your charisma?
3.
Yeah, mine's -1, so yes, you're the top. I talk with my biceps.
Asus will lean over and up to Grom and say, "They want us to disrobe, which is probably fine. Do I see like prison clothes that they would give us so we're not walking around?
Yes, on the counter itself are 2 sets of prison clothes. They seem to be some weird spongy, somewhat thick material. They're brown.
Got it. Sleight of hand is not what I'm best at, but I feel like that might be the easiest path here.
Is that trickery? Is that what's
yeah. Yeah, sleight of hand in a lowercase way. Asus will disrobe, but try and do it in the way of like, as he's holding the clothes that come off of him, the lightsaber is bunched within them, and then he sets them on the table to move the lightsaber to the other clothes, and then pull that onto his body.
Oh, okay. I was going to say you do with advantage if you're just putting their clothes, but the fact that you're trying to switch it to the other clothes, no longer advantage. But
if
you would do it in 2 parts?
If I would have an idea which of these two is better, let me know.
Yeah.
But my 2 ideas are either do that, switch clothes, or leave it on the table inside of my clothes, and then as I'm leaving the room, force pull my lightsaber back to me when I think no one's looking. Whichever one I think I might be better.
Probably the first one. Force pulling it when no one's looking to be hard when there's effectively 6 people looking at you in here.
Yeah.
Whose job is to look at you. All right. So yeah, first roll on the screen is go ahead and roll that trickery.
Is there anything that Grom can do to help him? Mechanically speaking, I mean, like, is
Sure. If Grom can come up with a narrative way, you can give him a help, which would give him a D8.
What if I like bump him and act like I'm like, oh, and I push him or something just to create a distraction or something?
Sure.
Sure.
So you start to
I'm like taking my clothes off and I do this and I nudge him right or something and I'm saying to Wookiee like, don't look at my my stuff.
I don't shave down there.
In limited ricotta, go. He's really very what's the word? Shy, private, whatever.
Oh yeah,
modest.
That's
what I was thinking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, with that roll, we'll just use the same roll he did before.
And you just go full Monty and just whip it out, and there is like.
If you could all just turn around, just real quick. Not actually.
Yeah.
That's an 8 on the D8, 22 total.
22, yeah, easy enough. The Wookiee gives you the distraction you need as you're bumped over. The 2 clothes meet, and at that point, you just use a little bit of force. Whoop, switch between them. And what about Grom? What is he doing? You have a lightsaber down your pants, and you're being asked to disrobe.
Wait a minute, Wookiees wear pants? I'm so confused.
They do when they're
Clench.
Can I clench? I mean, I got a lot of fur. Can I just like have it hidden in the fur? I think I should just have it hidden in the fur.
Certainly try.
I got a lot of fur in my thighs and stuff.
I will call this a might-based trickery.
What if I had trickery, like Velcro on it and I stuck it?
You didn't specify.
You would wax every time you pull your lightsaber out.
I just think I like a Wookiee that shaves down there. He just takes off his pants and is just completely barren down there. But
the only place he shaves.
Yeah.
Don't look at my little Wookiee.
As Grom's attempting that check, Asus will, like, if any droids look like they move to watch activity, he will do like, have you no shame?
There are droids. I'll give you an influence roll. If you do a successful influence roll of, I don't know, let's say called 13 or higher, then it'll work.
19.
19. Yeah, it works. They look at you for just a split second, which is enough. But you still have to do... Grom still has to do his might-based trickery because you're using your pelvis groin muscle to hold it there under the fur. And then...
Do I get an advantage or just normal?
No, you get a D8 because he helped you successfully.
A D8? Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot how that works.
Wookiee Kegels.
20.
Doing hip abduction. Your hip abduction exercises right now, you're like, yeah, I'm glad I did
that. So 17.
17. I was going to say 15 is the DC. So successfully, you are able to hold it there as you switch clothes. You feel your fur up top getting a little wet from the strain of it, from sweating. But you're able to get all of your new clothes on.
Sweat, they don't pant.
That's true. Maybe they pant. You start panting. But You all are able to get in with the new clothes. He says another question. We'll use your Rakata roll from before. He says, are you Force users?
What do I feel like the better answer would be? No means we're less of a threat. Yes means we might end up in the same... Oh, no, Quirk is not a Force user?
Quirk is not.
Do I have...
At least you never heard of him using the Force.
Do I have an inkling which way is better to answer?
You see he has some levers behind his counter there that he's currently pressing some things with. And when you go ahead and roll an awareness. Both of you can roll that if you want.
13.
Awareness. 13.
Ooh, I rolled pretty good. It's
Yeah,
so
you don't listen to anything with 13.
It's 22.
22. Grom, you notice when they ask that, he hovers his hand over this red button when he asks the question.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be like, give him a look and be like, saying Wookiee, like, what did you say? Speaking of Wookiee. To them.
Responding in Wookiee, Asa says he wants to know if we're Force users.
And I just go, Force, what's Force? Force what? What are we forcing?
Grom would...
I'm trying to tell him, don't say we're Force users.
Right.
I
I got it.
that was being bad.
Which is
It's
about...
It's going to be like a comedy routine.
Yeah.
Force. Like, oh, we have. And I'm like, no.
You know that thing we learned?
Yeah, he goes into like the explanation of the Force. See, there's these things called metachlorians, and they're in your blood.
Yeah.
What's your metachlorine count? Mine is...
It's off the charts.
Yes, responding in the Rakata that I do have will say no.
Go ahead and roll an influence. I think it's influence in this system for lying most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go
Is it
right.
worth... No, it's not. That's dangerous. Well...
You got high charisma.
You're using one of your abilities that give you...
Because
something.
we have to ask questions, and so may as well make it easier, but it's risky. Marks, what do you think? I could use my befriend cantrip, the old Force influence, which, if I succeed, it gives me advantage on all charisma checks with the guy. So easier to lie to, easier to ask questions to. He's charmed by me.
Is this a droid or a person we're talking about?
Droid.
Droid. So it says choose a non-hostile creature, and I've seen Jedi manipulate droids in the movies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
If I fail, though, it knows that I tried to do it.
Mm.
Well, you got high charisma, right? Like a 3? And then you got...
Right, so my influence is already +7, so I don't know if I need the extra boost.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it matters how you roll, but I don't think you'll fail if you do a boost. Let's see, roll really low.
I'll just roll it regularly for now, and maybe befriend him if we need to ask more questions. 14.
14. He looks at you. You see him look up at these. When he looks, you can see these little outlines in the ceiling, as though a little compartment can open up out there. His circuitry seems to whir a bit, and he says, "Very well." He then, wrong thing. He then gives you a long tirade. I won't go through the whole thing, but telling you basically what you can expect and what laws you have to follow.
I got about half of it.
He will go through. You got a decent roll on your Rakata, and for this situation, whatever dialect this droid has, you're doing okay with. But he goes through the wake up schedule. You get up at what they designate as 6, and then 6:30 you get your nutrient paste. He says if you have any useful skills, you will go be put to work at 8 potentially, followed by a security droid, and something that can monitor your work. You'll get more paced and exercise time at 12. At 5 are the gladiatorial games, which you will possibly participate in. And then at 18, you have the evening paced. And then the lights go out at 20, and that is the end of the day. They go by a 20-hour system at pairs.
Evening paste, my favorite meal. Does anything in the tirade imply a time when all prisoners would be in the same location?
Sounds like the 12 o'clock, the 12 o'clock paste is also the exercise when they let you out to deal with stuff. Okay. He does mention that you are put into a cell block, and the cell blocks are let out at one time.
Okay. So for day 1, it seems like be water, go with the flow.
Yeah. Get the lay of the land.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You are taking in. And now this is everything that I mentioned. 44 already knows all this stuff. And Quirk knows everything about the internal basic prison area that I'm about to go over. But you're taken in, flanked by 2 guards on either side and one of the people who collected your stuff walking in front. You go through multiple security checkpoints, you think, and then you realize, no, they just have force fields that open and close every about 10 yards down this hallway. You should, as you're going through them as they open and close. Eventually you come to a... Go ahead.
Am I able to identify what they're responding to when they open? Like, is it a thing on one of the droids?
Roll. Do you have any type of engineering or...
I don't. I'm good at gunnery and cooking.
What about Grom?
I have slicing, gunnery, fabrication.
Oh, you have slicing. Yeah, sure. You can roll a slicing roll. It's like if you were to try to hack it, how would you go about hacking it?
And that would be... What do I roll? I have one dot.
Slicing is, I think it was intelligence or agility.
+2.
+2 to my, say, intelligence. Is that cool?
Yep. So it'd be +4 for you.
All right. So a +4, that's a 19.
19's pretty good. Yeah, you see a little... it's a little beacon on the front of it, on right where your human clavicle would be on this droid, and a little light goes boop, a little green boop whenever the force field opens.
So it's on the droids. Do I think it's something I could detach? We could use, or
it looks built in, but most things are made to be reusable parts. You imagine you could detach it some way or another, but it wouldn't be something you just grab. You would actually have to
I just ripped off the top part of it.
Right. You could probably rip it off with enough force, you imagine.
I could put it in front of me like, I'm a droid. Do not...
Yeah. Either strength or tools.
Okay. Good to know. I will communicate this at some point.
Yeah. The droid in front of me goes, no talking, but in Wakata. They take you into what you see, a large metal door, and they go up to it. He hits a few things on the pad, and you see bars disengaged, opening this large door. Eventually opens into the side of the wall. As you go into what appears to be a huge area here, you can see it. It goes almost beyond what you can see. It's so far and big. This seems to be the bulk of the ship, actually, which is just the main area for the prison. You imagine there must be thousands of prison cells here, and most of them look dark. You look over to your left, and you see a small part, considering how big a small part they're actually lit up. Multiple levels, about 4 levels, with stairs going between them. All of these that are obviously in use have actual force fields, so it seems to be a force field-based prison system for the main front of them. Each prison cell is about 10 by 10. And they start heading towards the lit up section, eventually depositing you into a cell. It is next to another person. It appears to be we'll go with Rodanian next to you where they're putting you. But Rodanian, yeah. He seems to be green-skinned and large, expressive eyes. Looks a bit older. But yeah, and they put you right next to each other in separate cells.
Cool.
They say, "Get in your cell."
I get in my cell. I ask what time it is now.
It is 19.
Pity. All right. Well, soon second. Oh, does that mean it's almost time for second paste or evening paste?
That was at 18.
Oh, I'm heartbroken.
Once you get into your cells, if you do, assuming you do, the force fields on it will close, and you see the yellow sheen of a force field. Since in Star Wars, force fields are very visible. And we'll go back to Quirk. And 4D4. Is there anything else you wanted to do in the med bay? There is other droids within this med bay, so you would be seen if you were going to plan or anything like that. Potentially heard. Or do you want to fast forward to where you're asked to take Quirk back to his cell?
Well, I don't think I'm going to do anything if I can be monitored.
Yep. Alrighty. After a bit of time, about an hour goes by, and using some Bacta, they heal most of your wound. Not Bacta, whatever it's called in the Old Republic. I can't remember. It's the other one. They send you. The medical droid points at one of the other droids, not 44, and says, "You take him back to his cell." And then points at 44. You have a scratch on your back. Go get repaired.
And
Yep, they're speaking Rakata.
So I'll reply in Ricotta. 10-4.
Alrighty. The other droid comes up. It looks very much like 44, though maybe a bit more pristine. And ties your feet with its cable and starts pulling you off to the cell. Alrighty. Eventually, Asus and Grom, you will see the description of the person you are looking for being dragged across in front of your cell.
Hey. We'll exchange a glance. Hey, can our lightsaber cut through this bar? Or the force field? I don't know.
No.
Are we able
Based on the Phantom Menace.
Are we able to see and or hear each other in our neighboring cells?
So you do notice the force fields have a bit of a buzz, and it makes it so you can't whisper to each other. You think you could probably get up to the edge of the force field, right where they connect to each other, to the cells, and hear each other that way, but you're not sure you would be. You're not sure you wouldn't be overheard by potential cellmates.
And
go ahead.
If I wanted to say something to Quirk, does that also mean sound couldn't get through to him?
No, it could, but again, the person dragging, like anybody else in the area, would probably also hear you because of how you'd have to speak up for it.
Last question. It's not telepathy. I know that. Could I talk to Quirk with the Force?
Possibly. That is not something I think that's common in Star Trek lore, but it is there for sure.
In Star Trek lore?
Or Star Wars either.
Or Star Wars.
Yeah,
I did not say that. No comment about it. Okay, comment about it, whatever. Full disclosure, I've watched a lot more Star Trek. But
we're Betazoids, right?
I would say you could roll a spell check for it. And if you get over 15, you could probably get one or two words.
Okay. That should be all I need. I don't make the check.
All right. You sit there and try to focus on it. Just you're not able to make the connection.
Quirk, as you're dragged by, you see this kid basically on the other side of the force field.
Can I try? After I see him
Sure.
try? What am I rolling again?
a spell check.
Oh,
You
a
go over
spell check.
15. And remember, you use might, so you're going there.
Spell check. Oh, yes. Action spell check. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I rolled a natural 19, so
That's gonna do
23.
it. What do you say? You think you might be able to get off 2 words with that roll?
We're known as Jedi, right? So in this time period, right? Yeah, of course. I'll say allies Jedi to him.
All right, Quirk, you hear that in your head.
You pass by the kid doing this, and then a massive Wookiee.
But to hide my staring at him, I'll go, and Wookiee, I'll be like, that is the ugliest human I've ever seen. To hide my...
You hear, "Brrr." I can't do the Wookiee noise. But, yeah. You say that, you get a response, surprisingly, and you hear in your head, "Oh, Quark." And you realize it did not come from Quark.
Uh-oh. What did it say again?
You're sure the first word was help. Roll an awareness for the second word.
Ooh, I wrote 18, so
18, that's good.
23.
It said core.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said. I couldn't. Do I know what does core mean anything to me?
Not really.
Okay. I don't know. Someone's straining their ab workout. Help the core.
I need core exercises. Quark, you are eventually dragged. Did you want to do anything when that happens, or are you just going to keep getting dragged to your cell?
Well, I'm assuming that that he really might not have had this kind of thing happen to him, so he'd be like,
no,
kind of looking around a little bit.
It seems strange, but you do see 2 people focused on you intently for some reason. But you get dragged over, and you realize he is not the next cell over, but he is a cell after that. He gets dragged past the Rodanian and put into a and gets put into a cell after that. You are pulled into the cell, uncabled as the droid walks out, and the force field closes behind him.
Are we connected through force fields too, or we have walls between us, the cells?
You have walls between you. Anyways, after a bit, as all the lights go out, what does 44 do after this?
He does
you obviously
not,
go and get repaired,
he does
right?
Not go get repaired. No, sir. He does not.
Yeah. The general layout of this place that you've been allowed to go to. You've only kept memory for probably about a year's worth at this point. And you know that most droids get wiped after a couple weeks to the original programming. The general layout is the bulk of the middle of the ship is just the prison core, as it's called. You have above it, you have like a little glass enclosing where the overseer is. You know, it's this droid with many, many arms that controls pretty much everything that you know about up there. And you know that you know how to get to him through whatever levels and stuff like that. You know how to get to that guy if you need to. You know that below the prison core is the engineering deck where most of the engineering of the ship goes on, including the fusion engine. There's no hyperdrive on here, actually. And then below it is kind of like a waste deck. And then at the very top, you have the actual cockpit of the ship and it's a supercomputer, but you don't know anything about it other than that because you've never been allowed to go up there. It's actually strictly off limits to your programming.
Challenge accepted. Tell me what I know about the security outside the ship. Like, let's pretend I've been trying to get off this thing, and I'm curious how I would go about doing so.
So you know that the basic security is that you can't open the hangar doors without authorization of some sort. you know that the outside of the ship has many turrets, but you've learned in this last year that quite a few of them are offline. You could actually spend time trying to figure out which ones are more offline and stuff like that if you wanted to. You've learned quite a bit about the ships that are in the hangars that have been collected over the years. Other than that, there is a force field that has to be put down, even if the hangar door is open, right?
So I know what ship I would take. I know how to avoid how to avoid being shot at by some of the inactive turrets.
Yeah, you do know that most of the ships, unless you were going to take a tiny ship, a tiny ship would be shot down very easily. A ship that could actually take some shots would require more than one crew for sure. And you found what you think is a pretty decent medium-sized frigate of some sort. It's possibly a fighter at some point. And it seems to be mostly intact. You also, you know that in general, you have to get through certain security force fields. And up to a certain point, like you can't go to the cockpit, you can't go to the supercomputer or anything like that. Security fields will not open up for you.
Right. Yeah, I'm not trying to take over the ship. I'm trying to get off of it.
Yeah. But yeah, the hangar, the main force field outside the hangar, the ships themselves are grounded to some degree. And you know that the security systems outside the ship probably could shoot down anything that's not at least a little bit substantial, even with the turrets that are.
Is there any thought put into deactivating like tractor devices or those little spider things that latched onto ships when they're brought in?
I would say you can spend your time researching that if you want. You have not looked into that yet.
Yeah, okay. I'll go plug in.
All right, you put your appendage and starts into the wall. Let's roll. No. You know, the appendage. Go ahead and roll a engineering.
Hey, that's something I actually do, but I didn't roll well. I got a 12.
Engineering is a trade and how we extended the system. A 12.
Yeah, I got 12.
It's not great. The only thing you come up with is if you could, if you knew they were coming, you might be able to shoot them down if you're a good enough gunner before they got to you.
And then what about like the beam that draws the ships in as they go?
As far as you know, it's actually the drones that pull the ships in. They hack into the ship when they connect, and they actually force the ship in.
So it's not your good old tractor beam. Okay, no. That's good to know. All right, sweet. So Cork and I have been talking about this vacation on the beach for a minute. When do I think would be the most opportune time for Quirk and I to run away and have this vacation on the beach?
Roll an intelligence check.
I mean, I am left alone with him after he gets his ass whooped in the gladiatorial.
Mm-hmm.
That you want me to confirm a failure?
Yeah.
Okay. Wouldn't you know, I rolled a 19 on the next one.
Oh, but it's just a failure. You're not sure. You know that during gladiatorial fights, people are let out. You know that during lunch break, people are let out. You know that some people who have skills are forced to do labor of different sorts.
I guess, okay, so what's my routine? Am I like basically just the guy who drags the person who got their asses kicked to the med bay?
You are actually one of the few general purpose, which is why you actually gain sentience. You're one of the general purpose droids that are meant to do a lot of odd jobs. You can do some engineering if you need to. You can do some fabrication.
Oh, that's
you can
good
actually,
to know. So I could actually like roam around the prison without being questioned very much, and I could just make up a reason to be in that area if I need to, and
Potentially,
maybe
yeah.
not have a lot of questions asked. Okay, that's good to know. All right.
Alrighty. Do you do
But it's
any?
lights out at the moment, right?
Yeah, it's lights out. You spent a lot of your time doing that research, and the next morning comes as the lights come on. The two of you, unexpectedly, for Quark expectedly, a little slit opens in the back of the cell, and a little, it's almost like toothpaste comes out of the slit into a little bowl there. Quark knows that's nutrient paste. Quark, you also, as the lights turn on, you are familiar once again with your cell, which has very few things in it. The only thing it has is behind a force field in the back of a cell. The force field never turns off. It has your old Sith armor, as though just put there to bother you, so you have to deal with seeing it and remember it. But otherwise, it's inaccessible. The rest of you, do you eat the paste?
Yes, I'm hungry.
I do
All
eat
right.
the case. I also
Grom
have a
immediately.
question-
Nom nom nom.
A question for during the night. Were there any droids that walked by our cells? Like, did they kind of...
Do an awareness. You're
droid.
going to answer regardless, but the awareness is just how much information you got.
16.
16 is not bad. You do notice they have regular patrols of some sort. You see a little spider droid with a turret on top walk by, probably about once every 20 minutes.
Okay. Do those droids that walk by have the thing that Grom told me about, that the
Yep.
FOS?
Yep, you see it on all of them. And 44 has that too. You know, it's your FOF to be able to open force fields.
Could I have done something during the night?
What do you want to do?
When one of those was walking by, could I use command and tell it to approach into my cell?
I don't see
I'll
why not.
still end up where you set the scene this morning. I just want to have done that.
I don't see why not. Go ahead and that's a spell check, or is it a
It makes a charisma save against my spell
charisma
check.
save? Aha. Well, these things have huge charisma, let me tell you.
Oh, I was really counting on it. 19 for me.
Okay. That's going to be... Oh, they rolled a 19 as well, which becomes 18, so yeah.
Whew.
All right. What do you command it to do?
I said approach while I was sitting in the middle of my cell.
It's going through, immediately turns, and comes into the cell. The moment right before it hits the force field goes as it enters, and then closes behind it.
I angle my lightsaber and do a little boom boom and try and incapacitate it without breaking the FOF.
Oh, go ahead and roll an attack. I don't say you don't have to do anything extra because you have a concealable weapon.
I get advantage because of the lightsaber.
Yep.
Natural 20.
Ooh.
That was about to start combat, but probably not anymore. What's the total?
Total, I was using two hands, so 26.
26. Jesus Christ. Okay. So that is a brutal hit on this thing. Nope. One above brutal hit, whatever that is. And that would be, yeah. So the lightsaber is base 1. You get 2 for critting. You get 3 more for the level. And I think that's all you get, but
Only
6 feels right.
yeah.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
You do 6 damage, and immediately it just falls into a heap.
Cool. I keep that for the morning scene that you were beginning to describe, and I eat my paste.
Okay, what do you do with the droid in the meantime?
There's no bed. There's nothing in here.
There is. Oh, I didn't mention that. There is a rudimentary bed. You see some type of waist system where you have to squat because different aliens do different things. And you have some basic ability to get water. It's like a little drain on the bottom with a spout that when you get close, it turns on.
Got it. I put it in the best place to the most out of sight spot in the cell by the bed or something, and then I'll sit and make sure it's not easily seen.
Okay. Go ahead and roll I leave it up to you. Stealth or trickery?
Same thing.
Okay.
16.
All right, not bad. Wow. Okay. The next morning comes. You eat the paste. All of you eat the paste, and
I don't eat the paste.
How does it taste?
you don't eat the paste. This is probably the first time you've ever eaten something that has absolutely no taste whatsoever. Like you eat it, and it's
What's the texture? Is it creamy? Is it chunky?
it's kind of foamy.
Transport me to my mouth with your words.
It's kind of foamy. Like if you were to take mousse and make it taste like plastic.
Wow. What a word picture.
Rob doesn't care. He's hungry. I got some in my fur.
Do any of you all want to do anything before the next thing happens, which will happen in a couple hours?
Did I see what Colton did?
I hope not.
No? Okay.
No.
That's right. We got a wall between us. Never mind. I forgot.
Yeah.
So I would know where Quirkcell is.
Yep.
Or I could find that out pretty easily. I know that I would be able to open the barrier because I have the same sensory,
Yep.
Okay. Just making sure that I don't like go to do something and you're like, oh no, did I not mention? You can't just walk through that force field. Okay.
The again, Asus and Grom, you both hear some whisper. It's real weird. Go ahead and roll your prime stat.
Do I sense the dark side or the light from this?
That's what you're rolling your prime stat for.
Oh, okay.
13.
Ooh-wee. I rolled 19, so the 24.
13. Oh wow, 13 is enough that you think it might be some kind of force whisper. 24. This is it's tinged with dark side energy for sure.
It's dark.
I'll scoot over surreptitiously to the wall between Grom and me and hope I don't hit him, I guess. And similarly do a little to try and get a lightsaber width, like coin width hole on the wall so we can whisper to each other.
Oh, I was leaning against the wall. Ah! No.
You do that, and the lightsaber doesn't go through. You can see that there's a little hole it makes in the metal, and then you see a force field bisecting the metal in the middle.
Clever engineers. I'll go over to the spot where you said we could talk to each other if we're a little louder and a little louder. Say, Grom, are you hearing a voice?
I'll be like, in Wookiee, because you understand Wookiee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm afraid somebody might be listening. I'm just like, it sure is dark in here. Wish they had put some light.
Responding in Wookiee, so...
Yes.
Grom, I don't understand your metaphors. What does it mean dark have to do with anything?
Like,
44, you could be walking in whenever you want at this
I'll
point.
be like, it's light side over there, but dark side over here.
I see. So yes, you're hearing the voice.
So I'll just be like, fine, whatever. It's fine. It's like dark side voice.
Right. It just before you jump off to the next stone in the lily pads, you need to establish connection.
I was hoping we had a little rapport. I guess we're just not that close.
The rapport you have is
my
that,
younger brother was the same way. Oh my god.
the rapport you have is that Asus is frustrated enough with your metaphors from all the past times too.
It's Wookiee brains, They work differently, I guess.
You actually, Quirk, roll a awareness.
You hear.
I don't think this is gonna. Oh boy.
Okay.
That good, huh?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. That good. Awareness.
Is it less than 15?
Way. It's an 8.
Okay. Yeah. Nothing. You do hear from the cell next to you, the Rodanian say, what voice?
Does the Rodanian speak Wookiee? I guess so.
Oh, actually, I forgot he did in Wookiee.
Yeah, it's there.
Let me give him a chance.
Well, but I mean,
What's
Aces
that growling?
doesn't speak. He understands Wookiee. I don't think you speak it, right?
I'm
Yeah, that's
fluent in
true.
Wookiee.
You growl.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
You bark.
Yes. I
Why
don't do
not?
the Han Solo half-assed make
Yeah.
Chewie do all the work. I talk to him in his language.
Wow, that's impressive.
Well, we can say this
Your
is
brothers
true.
and another mothers or something.
It does sound very strange. A human trying to talk in Wookiee. But
The droids might
yeah,
think
he
you just
doesn't
need to go to the
understand.
bathroom with this stuff.
He-
or
for
disagreeing with
reminding
your
me.
stomach. The taste.
yeah, thanks for reminding me. He just goes, well, you all like to growl, don't you?
Yeah. I'll be all right back.
I'm gonna get up near the and go. Different strokes for different folks.
And you all hear the voice of that person who's been leaking information to you.
Bloody Quirk.
So I'm just trying to think what would 44 do. He has no idea what these two Jedi who just showed up's intentions are. He doesn't
Nope.
even know they're there.
No, all you
All
know
he
is that you were
knows is
made a tentative plan with Quark.
that Quark's going to take me to the beach. Let's talk about the gladiator fight schedules and how those are set up. Is there any way that I can? I'm assuming they're not going to have him fight so soon again after he.
So you do know a bit about how that works. What you know is every single patrol droid, really any droid for that matter, that gets some information about a specific prisoner will go and give it to the overseer, and the overseer will use that information to decide who they think is the most entertaining for organics to watch.
Okay, so can we go to just like a real brief? I don't want you to go into too much detail. Like, what have recent fights been that they have been, like a human getting thrashed by a Trandoshan doesn't
Yeah,
hardly feel
like that.
a fair fight.
That like this Trandoshan could really screw someone up, or this one looks like they're a soldier, right? These two might be able to have like a really even epic go at each other.
So say I want to go to the overseer and say, hey, there's a Wookiee in town. He'd probably be a good gladiator.
Mm-hmm.
Such a stereotype.
I mean, might's your main primary.
I didn't say it was wrong. Just it was a stereotype. I could have been a weak Wookiee. You don't know. It's like I'm an office worker Wookiee.
Yeah. But yeah, that's definitely something you could do. Usually the overseer will want actually something like fact based, and that would be fact based enough, you think, for him.
Or
But
do we let
anyway-
time pass until they let you guys out for your lunch exercise activity?
Well, before around 8 comes around, not that you all have any way of knowing the time in your cells, a droid comes by, one of the bipedal droids, and looks first at who wanted to be closer to Quark. Probably Asus would, but you would made sure Asus was in front, so he'd be closer potentially. But so he comes to Grom first and goes, "You, Wookiee, do you have any skills?"
I will say Wookiee that I am an artist.
It actually said that in Galactic Basic, by the way. And unfortunately for you, it says that is not needed and goes to the next cell. He apparently understood your Wookiee.
Oh,
The
wow.
it goes to Asus and says, "You human, do you have any skills?
Well, I should think so, yes.
What are they?
I'm a good cook.
Nutrient paste is sufficient. Do you have any other skills?
I'm a good shot with a gun in the ship. Who's asking?
That is not needed. Do you have any other skills?
Can I do a little sense its intentions?
Sure. Is that a force ability you have, or you just want to use insight to try to gauge?
It's advantage on skill rolls to read someone's intentions or emotions, so that force on top of natural intuition.
Yep. So yeah, I would say you have advantage on insight if that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, 22.
22 is pretty good. You remember back during the work schedule, you're told that this is where prisoners will go on work details to do things like repair the ship and such, under supervision of a droid. And it appears to be gauging if there's any way you can help with the ship.
I see. No, I'm sorry. No other skills.
It moves on. We're about to get to meal and the exercise part if 44 doesn't want to do anything in the meantime. Or anybody for that matter.
Is there no TV? It's
Nope.
barbaric.
It is.
I'll come by mid-morning after that interaction with that other droid. I'm gonna stop by Quirk.
Okay.
I'll make sure no one's eavesdropping. Trying to think of the best way to say this because I don't want anyone to overhear it. I know he's Sith, right? I know Quirk's Sith.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
pretty apparent from his uniform that's in the back that they put there to taunt him with.
All right. Do they have their own language?
Yep.
Yes.
Didn't know that. Okay, that's good to know. All right, so I'm going to speak to him in Sith.
To be clear,
Wow,
Sith during
I
this
Sith is
time
going to sound
referred...
like this, but-
Yeah. Sith during this time referred to just as much of a race as Sith pure blood as it did to like the actual order of Jedi users.
Okay. All right.
So it's a bit mixed because at this time Sith also meant the bad Jedi, as you could say, but at the same time it also meant the Sith pure blood. So it was basically he knows Sith pure blood, which is basically the main language of the Jedi at that time, I believe. Of the
Did the
Dark
Sith
Jedi.
language survive moving forward? Like, has it ever been in live action?
I don't think I've ever seen it used, but I don't know. Is the real
I don't think
answer.
it's ever been used in canon. That's why I asked that. I mean,
Yeah.
I know like in the video games and stuff, but
Yeah, I think it refers to the Sith pure blood race, which the Dark Jedi interbreeded with and basically became the Sith.
okay. Well, I'm going to speak to him in hopefully a language that he and only he can understand, and not the Rhodesian or the someone to the
Sith
others.
would be.
So, all right.
But you do know that the droids that ask about skills and stuff have the same programming as you when it comes to understanding languages.
Right. So I'm going to make sure that there's no droids around when I have this interaction with him. Human, when are we going to the beach?
Do any of you know Sith? You two?
I
okay.
know a ship
I don't.
that we can take, but I can't do it alone. And I don't know where the beach is.
Well, I can take you to the sparkling pink beaches on Korriban as soon as we get a ship.
By the way, Quirk knows that there's not really beaches on Korriban, but that doesn't matter for this conversation.
That's too funny.
It's a arid, very red planet.
Yeah, but even though droids like memories get erased, they still have like the knowledge, like their basic programming knowledge. So,
Yeah,
like,
you have your basic programming. Mhm.
Yeah, so like any knowledge that they they would have of, like the planet of the Rakata, they would know about that. So like that's what he's
Yeah.
recalling, like knowing
Right.
that the home planet of the people who made him was this like water world with a lot of islands and
Yeah.
okay.
But Quark says
So
that.
timing. So okay. So would I be the one who would suggest? Like, I guess I would know the best time to do it, right? Like I would be able to just come in here and release him from his cell and get.
Well,
to the
that's what
ship,
you
like,
rolled for.
Right.
And with that roll you had, you just recall the times that they're let out, basically, which is if they have skills, you can go on work details with them. If they during mealtime and exercise time at the 12-hour, and then also gladiatorial games are allowed to come out to the railing, but not further.
Okay, so here's an idea. If I can convince Quirk to telling the droid or basically me, or I can convince them that he can help repair these turrets, do you think that would be a good enough reason for them to let me? Like, I'm testing my boundaries of like, could I just take him to the like, could I just take him out of his cell right now? No one would ask me questions, to my knowledge.
They would probably ask you questions, but you imagine it would be you'd have to convince someone that he has skills in this and that he should go on that duty, and then convince them additionally that you would watch him.
Okay.
Or you could try to just do it without notifying the overseer, but if the overseer sees you do it for some reason, that could cause issues. You do know that there are cameras set up at different places. You actually know where all the cameras are, and there are dead zones, but for the most part, the overseer might eventually notice you. They can't be everywhere at once, but they might eventually notice you.
And could I disable some of these cameras if I wanted to?
Sure.
All right, we'll let time pass.
All right. Lunch comes around.
I've got to let them know. I've got to let them know that there's at least one other person that's got to come with us. Because remember, I did get the message about the Jedi here to get me out.
You're not sure if it was the Wookiee. You're not sure if it was the Wookiee or I guess it probably sounds like a Wookiee. The Enterprise.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's right. So you have someone.
My mental voice sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Who is Quirk's friend?
I am not sure.
You all see a patrol spider coming by. It stops at 4D4 and goes, "Are you supposed to be here?"
Roger, Roger.
Roll a influence with advantage. Because it's not unseen that you'd be here, but it's a little weird.
That's what I was trying to pick up on. With advantage?
Yeah.
A what now?
Influence.
Why would you pick something charisma based, dude? It's just rude. It's just so rude. Let's have 13 with advantage.
That's not too bad, actually. It turns to you and says, "Do not stay long," and then continues down.
Rude. I mumble under my breath. Fuck off. We can say at least one of those per stream, right?
Yeah, say as long as it's after 8 minutes, I think, or 15 minutes, I forget.
Yeah, we're well beyond it.
We're well into the zone where we can just say whatever we want. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, but
Quirk
definitely thinks there's something weird about this guy now.
Quirk says he has friend. Quirk doesn't know who his friend is. Are we going to the beach or not, Quirk?
Yes, but there's someone else here that may help us. When I was being brought in, I heard a voice in my head.
And this whole conversation's happening in Sith, right?
Yep.
Yes. Complete with pauses.
Amazing. Asus loud whispering to Grom, "Is it normal for droids to talk this long? They sound chummy, but I don't like that sound." That's it.
Who's
Grom, I
closer?
think that's it.
We probably
Ace-
can't. We probably know at least what Sith sounds like, right? We know.
Yeah, you probably know what it
any of the
sounds
words
like.
are.
Roll an awareness on Asus. or
Wasting that 20.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Even though you don't understand the language, you pick up Wookiee,
Oh, okay.
the proper noun.
Grom, they're talking about us.
What are they saying?
I don't know. I just heard Wookiee.
I didn't know Sith had such long pauses every time they talk.
Maybe it's code. I'll try and listen. I know a little bit of binary.
As you
Can you
listen,
sense its intentions, and you do that before with another droid, right?
You do.
Or no? Yeah, maybe. What sense its intentions of the droid?
You can do that too, but all right.
I'll
both
try.
have that,
I can try.
I guess insight is much more my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got -1 on it, so I have to roll high. You may
So,
try.
so 44 is gonna. I'll basically tell Quirk. I'll come back later,
Okay.
and then
And you head off.
yeah, I've been here too long. I don't want to keep getting questioned by the other droids while I'm standing around having a conversation with this
Yeah.
dude. So
Okay. As you all reach out to read the intentions of that conversation that happened, you hear the voice again in your head. End it. And it
End
fades
it?
away.
Is that what I said?
End it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. I'm just going to stay in my own head. Out of here.
Where does 44 go? Anywhere specific, or is he gonna go do his usual routine, which is to check different parts of the ship to make sure they're in working order?
yeah, I'm just gonna do my rounds, and I do want to be when Quirk is released for his daily exercise. I want to
Okay.
observe that. Yeah.
This probably won't lead to anywhere, but with my slicing knowledge and the food tube thing, do I think there's any wiring in that tube that could allow me to hack into the force fields at all?
Roll a slicing. I would say this is pretty high DC of like 20, because there's not a lot.
Slicing, that would be
Intelligence
again.
or agility.
intelligence, and 1 dot, and slicing gives me what? Anything? 2?
+2.
Okay. So I get a +4. I did roll a 15. I forgot what you said the DC was.
I
It's
said 20,
19
but,
+4. Never mind.
Unfortunately, if there's wiring in this, it's way up the tube. And it uses some type of pneumatics to send it down.
I forgot what force abilities. We don't get any telekinesis yet, right?
Oh,
we
yeah,
go.
you do get basic. It's like 10 pounds or something. I have to look. I forget how much it was.
25 pounds.
25 pounds. There it is.
Can I use the force to try to pull the wiring to me?
Oh.
If not, then at least more paste.
That is a really hard one, but I'll let you do a spell check effectively if you want to try to pull the wiring off from within it.
Spell check. I'm rolling really good. I wrote 18. Spell check is for 12 or 22.
22. You pull out something, nothing happens. You pull out something, nothing happens. And finally you get something small that you can sense and you give it a yank. 25 pounds isn't that much. You are just a new force user, but it's just enough to hear, like, you feel like it breaks. And you get that moment of joy that you finally got what you want as you hear an alarm go off in the cell, and you see the lights in your cell start flashing red on and off. You start hearing noises.
I'm gonna grab the tube and pull it to break it off.
Okay.
And so they come in. I go, I want more food.
44. You're not too far away. You get notified to go check it out too.
Okay.
And yeah, they like 4 different droids show up with turrets pointing
put
towards you. 44,
plaster
you're
around
coming
it.
up to see it too.
I'm gonna make sure
Yeah.
the food's around my mouth and go, I am hungry. I am much bigger than the rest of these people. I need more food.
I try not to laugh out loud at the Wookiee as he's like saying, "I'm starving, feed me." I mean, I really do. Try not to laugh.
I hate to say it, Roll an influence.
I have to roll an influence.
Yeah. Unless someone knows how to help, it's just a straight roll for you, pretty much.
Oops.
I'll jump in and shout at the others. He's big. He weighs like 300 pounds. Please feed him or I'll have to hear about it and I won't be able to sleep.
How many other droids are there right there?
4. And these are not general purpose. These are made for combat. They're guard droids. But you're actually the only like general purpose one there. Quirk, of course, hears this too. You hear the Rodanian kind of laughing. You think they're going to give you a bunch of food? Yeah, they'll learn.
Does Colton's thing give me a D8 on top of that or no? Okay.
It gives a D8.
I got 14 total.
14.
I can.
ahead.
Oh, well, I have this thing called Commander Stamina. All it says is I regain 1 stamina point when I grant a creature a help die. So
Yeah.
I don't know how I grant him a help die.
That's more during combat. If you help someone in combat as one of your actions, at one of your 4 actions, you get your stamina back.
I will say
Right.
one of the Wookiee's
that's-
traits is eat anything. So I feel like this shouldn't be out of character for a Wookiee.
No, but you're clearly trying to hide what happened. One of them moves forward and the force field goes down, and the rest open fire with little circular, pew, 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 obviously ion cannons. I would say 4 of them there. Not going to roll anything. You fall over unconscious, poof, stunned. They turn one. They all kind of turn towards 4D4, and you can tell they expect you to go fix it.
Okay.
All right, so you head into the cell,
Roger. Go in there.
and the rest of them leave, go their way, different directions. You are in the cell with an unconscious Wookiee with the feeding tube broken in his hand. You see some wiring there as well with him, which is strange because that's usually further up.
Obviously, poor design.
Curious how this Wookiee was able to rip this cable out of here.
Yeah.
God, it's
Seems
so
very
hard.
sus.
It's so hard for me not to act on any of the previous information. I know.
Well, you did
when
get
I was not
information.
in the room.
You did
Yeah.
get information that a Wookiee helped. He has a Wookiee friend. Quark said he had a Wookiee friend that was recently arrived or something like that.
And I'm also not winning the metagame, but would Asus have gotten any, like, has he picked up on there's something weird about
We
this
forgot the roll. Do the roll for the intentions of that talk that they had earlier.
That is a math 15.
15. You find it very strange that a droid was talking for so long to a prisoner like that, and you got it from it was like a personal conversation, which is very strange.
Grum.
Okay, so as I go over to fix,
Grum!
Yeah, I
Okay,
wasn't
so
aware. I was trying to get us free. I didn't
so
know.
I hear someone in the cell next shouting out this name I
Yeah.
don't recognize. Grom's
Yeah.
unconscious.
Yeah.
As I go over to start repairing what the Wookiee broke, I mumble under my breath, "Stupid Wookiee. I wonder if this is Quark's Wookiee."
What are you saying that in? Binary?
I'm saying it in Ricotta.
Okay. The force field was down when you probably said that, so I would say go ahead and roll a Ricotta language roll on Asus to see if you pick that up.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Yes, that's
I
an
have the
excellent
number written
roll.
down. That's on my game.
Natural 19. Oh, 19 plus your intelligence or whatever
Plus
the other one
stuff,
is.
yeah.
Charisma,
22
yeah,
total.
plus 3.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you got it perfectly, actually. For some reason, those are some of the few words you learned.
Is anyone else around?
Well, I also said Quark and Wookiee, so I mean, he picked up on
Yeah.
that. At least.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you would for those proper
And then I
names.
just go about starting to repair the slime
You hear
sensor.
from the cell next to Aces, What happened over there? I want to know what happened over there.
I don't know. So that's the what's his face?
Rodanian.
The Rodanian, right?
Rodanian, yeah.
Yeah.
But is anyone else around?
No, now you can tell.
Worried about my friend. I'm hearing good things. I'm going to grab the contraption that I've stuffed away, the FOF from the droid, and hold it close to me and do a little like stealthy somersault around the corner. If the force field opens enough for me to get through with this device, the goal is to end up in Grom's.
Roll
case.
a stealth. It's not a hard roll. I'm gonna say DC 10 because they're not that they walked away. There's not too many people that would be in viewing range of your cell going off and on.
Level 1 is so hard when you can't do stuff to make your rolls better. Natural 1.
Roll again. Roll again.
Thanks.
This is just to see if you get, the way I usually do fumbles, if you roll a natural 1, you roll a d20 again, and if you get 5 or under, then something extra bad might happen.
I see. 6.
Oh, wow, lucky. But nonetheless, you get over to the other cell. It's not as well as you'd like. You did a bit of a flop a bit, but you quickly get yourself back up and go over to
You
the
just
other
like
cell.
hit the force field with the other prisoner, and he's like, oh.
End up in the cell behind where 4D4 is working and say,
Yep. 44, you hear it actually coming. It was not quiet enough for you not to hear it. And
My
you turn
head spins around and
just
looks
as he's
right at
rolling
you.
in.
Human, what are you doing out of your cell?
I'm Quirk's not Wookiee. I'm Quirk's friend.
Quirk's friend.
In basic.
Galactic Basic.
Quirk said he has one friend, Wookiee friend. You're not Wookiee.
He doesn't know that we're friends. We've never met before. But I assure you,
Prove
we're
it.
very good friends.
Prove it. And I start walking towards the human. Wookiee's still out, right?
Yeah.
All right.
You start walking towards Asus?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give a fact about Quirk that I would know.
Good idea.
Sure, you can. Let's see, what would you know? You've seen holograms of him. So if you want to do something specific on his look, though, you could have just seen him, out. You know the missions that he helped you on. You know where he's from.
I will say where he's from. I'll say, Quirk, he's a older human man like me. He's from, insert planet name.
Korriban.
I hear it's red and sparkly.
What is your name?
My name is Asus.
I walk right past him. Stay here. And I walk over to Quirk.
As you're walking over to Quark, you see 2 guard droids coming up the ramp. They seem to be on a mission to actually go investigate something.
They're coming this way?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to distract them in some way. How am I going to do this?
All right.
Is there a way that I can remotely trigger an alarm, like the way that they're coming from?
You could hook in. They would see you hook into the wall, but you could hook into there's a wall port between each cell.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and trigger an alarm. Yeah, trigger an alarm to try to get them to go back the way they are coming.
Right thinking.
Yeah. That would be slicing, I would say.
Okay, great. Something I might actually be able to do. No whammies. Hey, 15 on the die, so that is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Yeah, good enough. What alarm do you want to do? What type of alarm?
Like maybe a similar alarm to what brought them over here in the first place when the Wookiee ripped his slime dispenser out of the wall.
Okay. Down the hallway, you see one of the cells, woo, 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 and the red light flashing inside the cell. That was a pretty good roll. They both turn around and go towards it. What does
go
Asus
over-
do? Go ahead. I think Asus said he was trying something while you were doing that.
Yeah. The 44 told Asus to stay there. Asus is just Grom. Nothing mechanical.
Okay.
Just like
Okay.
Trying to wake up
Wookiee's
Grom.
unconscious.
Wake up.
Grom, roll a 1d4.
1d4.
Yeah.
2.
2. Okay. He doesn't wake up.
Cool.
But what does 44 do?
I go over to Quirk. Quirk, what is Wookiee's name? Does Wookiee have friend named Asus?
What?
He says he's your friend.
Oh,
You
actually,
very
I take
well.
that back. Sorry. Have Quark roll an intelligence check. There is a chance you may have heard the name. I would say if you roll over 18 on an intelligence check, you would have heard the name.
Oh, wouldn't you know? I got a natural 19
Wow.
Nice.
with no bonuses.
yes.
Right? It's not.
You have heard even. Okay, you have heard Asus name before. You heard as one when you were reporting to the Republic, he was in the back one of these times because that's why he knows about it. He was aware of the communications, and someone referred to him before.
He is a small human boy.
I'm not that small.
He said he knows you and where you came from.
Rig, I'm happy. I'll get bigger.
Don't take offense.
Yes, I know him.
All right, I'll walk forward so the shield opens for Quirk.
Okay.
I'll actually enter his cell. Does Quirk want his
And-
clothing? Does Quirk want his clothes?
Yes.
I walk over and open that shield as well, so he can get his armor.
It doesn't actually open with your FOF, but it does have a port to hack if you want to try to open it up.
Yeah, of course.
Slicing.
Come on.
It's a DC 15.
Yeah, it's above my pay grade, Quirk. So sorry.
Quark doesn't have slicing, right?
I only got a 7.
No.
Yeah.
It wasn't a 1 though.
Pilot
It was a
politician
2.
in
So
disguise.
there's that.
Yeah.
But they've got their
That could be
lightsabers with them.
You don't know that. I mean, we know that, but our
Yeah,
characters don't know that.
Yeah, you don't know that.
Well, do
Well-
you want to say hello to your friend?
Yes, I recognize that name.
Okay, so
He may be
alright.
here.
the door's open. What are you gonna do?
They-
As you
He's 2 doors down,
They-
standing over his
Right.
Wookiee friend who is unconscious.
So I'm going to say, they may be here to take us away.
Away to the beach.
Yes.
Roger, Roger. And I start walking out. Are you
Go.
coming with me? Are you gonna leave your armor behind? I tried, dude. I'm sorry.
what language were you speaking during that whole thing?
I speak Sith.
Well, I would
to Quirk.
imagine
I speak
Sith.
Sith to
Sith?
Quirk. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of poke my head out, look both ways, and then if it's all clear, then yeah, I'll follow 44.
You see more guard droids going towards a flashing cell down the way.
But they're not coming my way.
Nope, not right now.
Okay, then I'm gonna
As you
sneak
head
out.
across, the Rodanian looks at you, who's next to you, and goes, "Hey, why don't you help another brother out? Let me out too. Come on, let me
How
out." As you
can,
go
how
by.
can you be my brother? I only have 3 brothers. They've all been decommissioned. You are not my brother.
Come on, I had a bounty on a Sith. That's why I'm in here.
I'll pause for a
The,
moment. I don't know what Kirk's doing.
Yeah, go ahead. Quark, can you just go by?
I'm gonna quickly try and get over to the cell where I can.
Oh, okay. You go by an empty cell. You go by the Rodanian. You go by an empty cell, and then you head over to the cell with Asus and Grom. You do recognize Asus as being in one of your transmissions off to the side, and the force field's up, but one of you who has an FOF can let him in. What do you do?
Yeah, I'll walk over so that the force field comes down.
Once Quirt comes up, I'll look up from after I slapped Grom. Mr. Bootknocker. Hi. You probably don't know me. I'm Asus. I'm a apprentice of the Jedi, and you're a hero of the hyperspace war. You don't deserve to be here. We're going to get you out.
Young man, I have seen your face.
Oh.
I have some armor back in my cell behind a force field. Can you help me retrieve it?
Possibly.
Why do you need armor if we're going to the beach? God damn it. And I go over there and I try to open it again.
Grom is better at that than I am.
With disadvantage? I figured you'd want me to give me disadvantage.
If you can wake up the Wookiee.
All right, so that time it's a 14.
A 14?
With a disadvantage, yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly one away.
I figured as much.
So at this point, with your 2 on the D4 and with your might being so high, you start to awaken. Grom, starts to awaken. I
awaken from my dream of being on the beach with 2 Wookiee females.
Before you...
All this beach talk is getting into my brain.
In that half dreary state, as you're awake and not awake, you hear more clearly in your head, "Please, help! Just kill me."
I have to ask,
Rom
is there
can do
somebody
that.
by the name of Kwai on this ship?
And then you get a vision. It's just like there and back, like a static type flash in your eye as you're blinking awake, of some type of big computer with all these tubes going into some dark crevice.
Big computer of balancing a figure, right? Or organic.
You're not able to focus too much, and then you awaken.
Okay.
Roll an awareness. Maybe you'll get a little more.
I got 9.
Nope. All I can say is 9.
I'm gonna grab Asus and be like, I got a vision. That voice is telling me to kill it.
Okay. The
Big machine, tubes, I don't know.
the voice that
The dark side voice. I'm being very clear now. Dark side
wants us to kill it.
I'm saying this in Wookiee, by the way. So
And I'll respond in basic. We'll revert to that when we're not trying to be secret.
When he says big computer, a bunch of tubes coming out of it, do I recognize that? Is that something that I could...
Roll a language, see if you understand what he said.
Oh, okay, there's that.
The intelligence or charisma. Plus 20, plus your D20.
Well, I know all common languages. I'm limited, so...
Yeah, limited means that you have to roll for it.
Oh, and I get to add those. So that's what limited means.
Yeah.
I get that. And if I don't have limited, okay. So that is a 17 on the die, and you said just
good
add
enough.
my intelligence to it.
You understand completely what he said.
Dirty 20.
Yeah.
And do I recall like what he's describing? Do I know what that is?
You've seen that type of thing only in one place, and it was the place of the area you're not supposed to go to at the top of the ship.
Why is the Wookiee talking about the supercomputer that runs the ship?
You actually know it as called the core.
Why is the Wookiee talking about the core? How could you know anything about the core? You've never been to the core.
Make eye contact with Grom. Look back at the droid. The core wants to die, but perhaps we just focus on leaving and report this, because I didn't know that this prison was here, right? This was a surprise.
Yeah, you didn't know the prison. You knew that they were left here to disappear.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know why they were disappearing. It's why you came to investigate.
I think this prison would be an excellent thing to report to the Jedi Council, and maybe they'll actually do something this time. And they can rescue the people who are alive and put down the dark side core. That seems a little bit out of our skill set, Graham. We are...
You mean you don't want to take out an entire prison ship full of droids? What?
What happens if the core dies, droid?
Do I know anything about the core? Is this a living?
You know what controls
being powered by?
You know what controls just about everything that's automatic on the ship. You would roll a engineering.
Okie dokie. Another 15 on the die, so a dirty 20.
You know that everything automatic on the ship is basically controlled by the core. Talking life support, the force fields, the food dispensers, everything, lights.
Do I also think it's likely that the core is talking to this Wookiee in his brain?
That seems strange.
Yeah, I would think so.
At this point, more you hear from your dispensers as more paste comes out.
I'm gonna eat some.
So I know what that means time wise. Then, right? It's lunchtime.
Yep, and unfortunately, Grom's goes everywhere. There's no tube there. It has been fixed. It just falls over the place.
Can I go? No, cut my hands and get some.
You think a lot of it fell inside the contraption somewhere.
Graham, you can have mine.
Okay.
Or I think it's time to go.
You also hear choo 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 as all the cell force fields turn off in your cell block.
Oh, well, we should have just waited.
Exercise time.
Now it happens. Jeez.
Do you have a designation to 44?
Who did what now?
Do you have a designation, a name? I don't know.
We haven't heard your name.
Oh, you're asking me who is your daddy and what does he do?
Correct.
I guess.
I am called 4D4. I am a multi-purpose droid. I want to get off the ship and go to the beach with my friend Quirk.
Excellent. We are all of one mind. We have a ship. Are you able to get us there without any much of a hullabaloo?
I do not know this word hullabaloo, but I know where to get to the docking bay, and I know where there are malfunctioning turrets, so we may not get completely obliterated.
You can hear people coming out, and the Rodanian comes over. Since he's been hearing a bunch of commotion. Like I said, green skin, large eyes, the snout, everything basic that you expect on a Rodanian. And he comes over.
Give him a soul patch or something. Just something
Something different.
How would you put a soul patch on that?
The only and instead of his name being, I'm not even going to say it. Instead of his name being Greedo, I was going to say something totally inappropriate, and I won't.
Guido? He comes over and he says, he seems no galactic basic. So, my name is Jarak. And I don't know what you all are up to, but either you help me, you either let me do it with you, or I tell everybody what you're doing.
Great, come on.
Yeah, that was easy.
I'm watching
All right,
you.
so what do we do now?
Is anybody going to ask me to hack for the armor? Because I don't know.
Oh.
I was knocked out at the time.
Right. To Quirk, Mr. Bootknocker, sir, is your armor important to you?
Just
Why, yes.
Graham, can you slice into that force field?
I could try.
All right, the doors are open. You can go over there and do it.
I'm gonna help him sharing the knowledge of my two failed attempts with him.
Since you both have the skill, you can help him, so you'll get another D8 on top of your roll.
Okay. It's pretty good. So 21.
21 is enough for sure. It takes you a bit of time, but eventually you are able to hack into this thing and the force field goes down and the armor just kind of falls forward onto the ground. It is heavy armor, right? You wear heavy armor if I remember right. So
I don't know. We never made, because I thought I knew I was going to be a prisoner. I never made any of those decisions, but I could. I do have proficiency with all armor.
Yeah, we'll say
if
it's heavy armor.
If the GM offers you heavy armor, you say, yes, I'll take heavy armor.
You hear it hit the floor with a thunk, thunk, as you can hear the plates in it hit the floor.
While Quirk is putting on his armor, do you put on your armor?
Oh boy, not quite yet. No, we need to be expedient here.
Okay, never mind then.
You do hear now eventually a lot of footsteps outside, but the one you're familiar with, unfortunately, is the of the spider legs starting to head towards your direction.
Okay, we're not going to kill the core. Let's get out of here.
Agreed.
So let me guess. The route we have to take to the hangar bay with the ships is past the droids.
Well, the droids are... You are in cells right now. I believe you're in Quark cell right now.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you come out, you'll be seen by these droids coming up right now.
And the rest of the prisoners are just going to the common area?
Yeah, they're going down the stairs to the common area at the base of this. Now that it's during daytime, Quark, you know about it, but Asus and Grom would see it for the first time, which is an arena in the middle of this place with like these twisted metal poles of different sorts making a circle around this ring, and it looks like it has force field emitters that can be turned on. And it's a basic metal floor on it.
Everyone look depressed and imprisoned. And
all right.
Hope the droids walk by.
I don't know. Let's all go up against the wall and leave the Rhodian guy in the middle.
Oh, that's right. I was supposed to be fixing the slime dispenser.
Yeah. Well, the droids come by and they turn and they say to all of you, they look at you and say, you should be in the common area, required exercise, and turns to 44. Are you malfunctioning?
How many droids are there?
Negative.
There are 2.
I'm fixing the slime dispensers, and I walk over towards the slime dispenser. I come fixing it.
If we're gonna move a fight, let's sneak behind them, like Aces.
Roll an influence. Someone could try to help if they want, because 44 is not great at this. 44 starts going into an explanation.
But I'm literally here to fix the
I'll try to help him.
You're in the wrong room, though.
Well, nobody has to know that.
I'll try to help him.
How are you going to help him?
Oh, you didn't say I had to come up with
medical
that.
Emergency.
We heard something in the walls.
I didn't roll terrible this time.
You heard something in the walls.
Yeah. I got a 14 this time.
14?
Yeah.
Yes, we heard noises within the walls, and I called for D4.
I feel like with these long pauses,
to investigate.
Asus and I can sneak around behind him.
Are you trying to? Feel free if you want to use this as a distraction.
You want
try to do that.
This doesn't feel like the best place to start a combat. If we can see the arena, that means everyone between the arena and us can see us. But yeah, I'll at least move to the ground.
In case something goes south, let's say that.
Yeah.
We're ready.
All right, go ahead and roll a stealth. For Quark, I'd say it's good enough. You can add a D8 to the roll like 44 was doing. Yeah.
17 on stealth.
Not bad. What did 44 get?
I got 5 more, so that makes it a 19 total.
19. 14 was not going to be enough. the droids say, one of the droids speaks up and says, it almost seems like these guard droids think they're better than the multi-purpose droids, but it says, fine, fix the dispenser and then go get fixed for malfunctions.
Roger, Roger. I mean, I say
And
walk away. Under my breath, I say in Sith.
They don't walk away. They stay right there and watch.
Okay.
Right, what did Grom roll?
15.
15. Good enough. It's better than their passive. They don't really notice you as you... Because you act like you're going out to go to the exercise and then you wrap around without them noticing.
I mean, we could put our lightsabers up against their heads and pop, and then pop them in their shells.
What does 44... He's going to go...
I pretend like I'm fixing the slime dispenser.
Oh, you go to the other cell? Okay. You go over to Grom's cell. All right, what do the two of you do? They are watching you. They're watching Quark right now. And one of them starts to turn around. This would be your chance to do something. You're going to do something like that, or they're going to see you.
If there's a combat here, will these two droids be the only ones involved, or will the whole
Do
prison
awareness.
come on us?
You are pretty focused on these in this area, but see how much you can see around you as you do this.
Am I doing awareness too?
Yeah, you're both doing it.
16.
16. 9, you see 9. But the 16, you as you're sneaking around, you're a bit more used to keeping track of your surroundings based on your awareness rolls anyways. And you definitely see about 6 more guard droids that are within view of where you are right now.
Okay. Guess I shouldn't do it. I'll just go to him.
Okay. Then as the droid starts to turn, I'll do that, like, turn on one heel, leg swings out really wide, and start slowly walking in the direction of the exercise area.
Yeah, I'll go too.
All right. And what about
slowly walking in that direction.
I'll go along with them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You all head down. 44. Roll a engineering roll. See if you can fix it.
Okay.
Or no, this would be a fabrication roll, actually, if you have that.
Okay. Yeah, I took all the in things. A 10.
A 10?
Yeah.
10 is the base you need to fix it, but it is going to take some time.
Okay.
So you are doing that. You can stop doing it whenever you want, but if you stop doing it within an hour, you won't actually have it finished. And the three of you head down to the exercise area. You see a place that's basically open and sparse. You see some strange machines that people are using to lift themselves up on and actually do some rudimentary exercises. There's nothing special here. You do see some tables set up and people sitting down and talking. There's probably about 30 different entities down here of different sorts, all male in this cell block. And you see one particular group that looks like a group of Trandoshans.
What's that? What do they look like again?
They're like the snake, lizard-like people that are often known as like muscle.
Famous bounty hunter.
Oh, yeah, there's a bounty hunter one.
Yeah,
I know
he's one of the bounty hunters. Yeah. He hissed. I think it was his only line. But as you head down there, they see Quark and they all get up and they start heading your direction.
Mr. Bootlocker, do you know them? More friends.
You recognize one of them as the one you fought.
I fought one. Oh,
and one, no doubt.
No.
I do a little Wookiee chuckle.
Did Jirak come down with us?
Yes, he'll come down with you too.
Okay.
As the Trandoshans start... no, he'll stay with you. I was trying to think if he'd be brave enough to even stay with you when this happens. But the Trandoshans come up And the one comes up in front, the one you fought. And he says, "That was a great battle, wasn't it? I love it when my prey falls on the ground. If only they didn't stop me from finishing it."
I'm sure you'll have your chance, but not now.
"Who are your friends?" That one, points to Asus, "looks scrawny and weak and young. No fun beating up a child. And that one," even though you don't look like a child, I'm not implying it points to the Wookiee. "That's one. That's a Wookiee. That one I bet is tough. Though scrawny for a Wookiee, maybe."
Asus will step forward and extend an arm and put an arm on the Trandojan's shoulder, and in response to what he said, "My name's Asus. I'm small, but I've heard of you and your great might, and can I just say, what an honor." And he'll use befriend.
All right, roll that befriend. You have to.
You make a charisma save. I make
that's what it
a
is.
spell check.
6.
Natural 20.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
All right.
He
Or
says, "Yes, I love having fans." Another Trandoshan speaks up and says, "I thought we were going to beat them up."
No, actually. So, I'm new here. I don't know anything. But, the scene, are droids all sort of spread out? Is there a
The
group
droids are on around the balconies where your cells are, looking down at the area. You do know that they all have turrets, so technically they're all in range if something were to go down. But you see maybe 10 altogether. But they're really sparse. They're not in one area.
Cool. I'm just trying to think of how to make a distraction. Is there anyone who's giving the Trandoshans the stink eye?
You mean aside from
awareness.
Rom?
Do an awareness. See if you can pick that up. In the meantime,
Dirty 20. I'm going to keep this character forever. He's doing great.
yeah, you look around. You see some looks that are kind of glad it's them, not me. A lot of those type looks, looking at you all. You see one guy. He is what the hell are they called? What's the race called that looks like a pig? I know I have.
Oh,
Yeah. It starts with G.
oh, you're talking about the Ugnaughts?
Yeah. No.
No. Yeah, well, there's the Ugnaughts.
The big
and there's
ones, yeah.
Also the Gamorreans.
Gamorreans,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah. You see a Gamorrean over a ways looking up at them, and with that perception, with that awareness, you can see him kind of grabbing the table and holding it a bit tougher, with a bit of strength, which is a little normal, like a frustrated look.
So, continuing. I've barely been here. I don't know anything, but one of the only things I do know is that guy thinks you're a thin-bladdered, urine-scented weakling who only won a fight against him because he was old and limp.
So you're calling Quirk old and limp. Go ahead and roll a.
I thought we were friends. We're gonna go to the beach together.
Roll a influence. I would say you have advantage because of your previous success. And you already have advantage, so you would have double advantage. So you'd roll a third dice, because in DC20 you just keep adding them.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Third one was a natural 20.
You guys know there's other numbers.
I know there's other numbers.
Yeah. Oh, does he? As he starts stomping that way. The other Trandosians, the other three of them, kind of look at him and look at you. Let me give him a roll.
That's what I heard.
And they roll an influence, but without all the advantages. Because it's against the ones that aren't befriended.
Natural 1.
Roll again.
19.
Okay. But nonetheless, they kind of, one of them looks at you, an older looking one. You see a couple of patches of skin missing on him and scarred over. And he says, I don't think you are being honest. What are you actually planning? And he turns to 1, 2, 3, 4. He turns to the Rodanian and says, what are you actually planning?
Make eye contact with the Rodanian.
The Rodanian kind of shrinks back a little bit. He says, I'm not with them. Don't put me on this. I have nothing to do with them. They're trying to escape or something. And he walks away.
Oh, jeez.
He rolled a natural 2.
Quick question. The commander's call.
Yep.
Does that work on any creature? It doesn't talk about if they're hostile to me or not.
Commander.
Or hostile or not. Commander's call. Yeah, page 122.
I got it. Yeah. Use one of those to command a creature that you can see within 5 minutes that you can see here. They chose to me to take one of the following action. Oh, wow. Wow, that's really good. Yeah, it's on anybody, I guess.
Okay, then the one that just scared away the Rodian, I'm going to tell him to go back up his buddy and attack the Ugnaught.
Oh, you can't tell them like who to attack. You can just give them the option to attack as a free attack.
Oh,
it's more towards allies.
Okay. Oh,
But
okay.
but those are really good, actually. Wow. The one looks at the Rodanian, bewildered, and says, "How do you plan to escape? Tell us. No one escapes from this hell." And turns to Quirk. Doesn't mean aces can't speak, but
Yeah, I let enough of the scene so someone else can respond.
Yeah. He was hallucinating.
Roll a influence. Maybe it can work. Trying to convince him that he's just a crazy guy.
19.
19. He goes, he nods his head. Jakra was always an idiot.
And I agree.
I'm going to tell the overseer that a 3 versus 3 battle at the Gladiators Arena sounds like a good idea.
That sounds so fun as a player.
No weapons, just fist. And one of them actually that guy who was speaking starts to walk off up one of the railings, up one of the ramps to the cells.
I could try and stop him, but do we want to?
Well, so far we've got 2 of them out of our face.
You could just start a fight with her mate.
I mean, I guess Cork would know if a fight breaks out in the common area what the response to that typically is.
Yeah, there would be droid guards everywhere.
You would know that the droid guards would probably knock out whoever was the offenders, but they would probably wait till the fight was over. they know that it's much safer to take out the people who remain rather than all of them at once. At least 44 knows that. Quark, you just noticed that they let a fight go on for a bit before they knocked people out.
Yeah, and 44 isn't anywhere to be found.
Am I still being watched while I'm fixing this slime dispenser?
There are 2 droids outside the cell where you are, but they're not looking at you. They're looking away at the common area.
So they're doing their job.
What do the rest of you do? The other 2 Trandosians start kind of hiss, and you realize they're laughing as they start to back up and walk away.
Could we get out of here? Like, make like we're going back to our cell?
We're not allowed.
You do know they'll tell you to turn back.
How many droid guards are there?
There's 10 in total, just watching from the ramp above. And you see the Trandoshan, the older Trandoshan that you were talking to, went up there, and a droid has stopped him, and you see him communicating with it.
So these guys just like to pick fights. Love it.
And after he does so, the droid goes off through a door. 44 would know he's going to talk to the overseer based on his trajectory, but the rest of you just see he disappears somewhere.
I bet it's the way to court. No, I wouldn't know that.
Well, I don't
Probably
really want to be in an arena with the 3 of them. Weaponless. Any ideas, Quirk or Grom?
We could smash their heads in.
Yeah, Grom's like, why not?
We then smash droids with them, their bodies.
And there will be eyes on us.
Yeah, we're outnumbered.
44, you would know one thing you found out since then is it probably doesn't matter for whatever they're deciding, but these fights are broadcasted, or at least used to be broadcasted, but you have since then found out that the mechanism on the outside of the ship that broadcast has malfunctioned long ago.
So now it's just done for pure like...
as far as you can tell, they just do it because it's part of their programming.
Gotcha.
But yeah. Unless anybody does anything else, you'll finish your repairs of the dispenser.
Can I use my awareness to see if there's any gap in the security? Any way we could get out?
That wouldn't be awareness. That would probably be a specific trade of some sort, which
maybe I could do that with the veteran flavor feature.
Oh,
for being a commander.
Yeah, I would say sure. That is yeah, about military organizations, ranks, procedures, battle tactics, arrangement. Yeah. You can do that.
So how do I do advantage in this system? 2d20?
It's just 2d20s.
Take the higher?
Yep.
Do I have another d20 in here?
And we'll say it's just for you, it's probably, unfortunately, it's an intelligence check, which would be +0, but you get advantage on it.
And I'm sure I must fail either way. I rolled a 3 and a 9.
Wow. Unlucky. Yeah, you're not sure. If Grom wanted to do an intelligence check, he could, unless he has a specific trade.
I mean, unless slicing or fabrication or gunnery could be helpful.
Not really.
I'll do an intelligence check. Why not? Yeah, real high. We'll see. What a 12.
I'll say you could also do investigation. If you have an investigation skill rank, you could use that too.
I do. All right, so 16 total then, with 2 from investigation, 2 intelligence. So,
you can tell there's gaps in their camera system. You can tell that they don't necessarily cover everything. There are these doors that are locked below the railings, but they don't, and they stay up on the railing. So technically, if you were under there, only one side would be able to see you. Possibly a gap, though they do look locked, and you'd have to slice them. And there's about 3 doors on this bottom level in this area, this exercise area. You're not sure what they go to. And other than that, they have lighter security while they're not in this mode.
Would my sleep put them to sleep too? Force power?
The droids?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. It is a bit weird with the droid. I would say...
seeing how they don't sleep.
Yeah, but they do have to go into maintenance mode.
You can charm them and stuff, so why not? Same kind of thing.
Yeah. It reminded me how sleep works. I think you roll and you affect a certain amount of hit points based on what you roll, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like default. Oh, shoot, I was looking at it just a second ago.
So make a DC 10 on a success. On
like
success
10
plus 2 HP. So, it's 10 standard. So I would just say that HP would be halved for droids. So yes, but halved.
How many hit points does a droid have? Like, I don't know how to scale that. Like, enough
Funny you
experience.
should ask, how good is 44 at multitasking? Because he does have the fighter trait, know your enemy, and I could make a check on these droids to find out, do they have more, less, or as many hit points as I do?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Do that.
So I rolled a 16 to find out if they have more, less, or as many hit points as I do.
So even though they're more equipped for fighting and stuff, they actually have less than you.
Okay. Doesn't tell us exactly how many less. So they have less than 9 hit points.
Oh, wow.
I like, for what it's worth.
I also have less than 9 hit points.
Yeah. How about this? I'll do it again because it says I can do it as long as I spend a minute. So again, how good am I at multitasking? I've been fixing this thing for several minutes.
Sure, I'll let you do it one more time.
All right. That's a 13. That's to determine their physical defense. Is it higher than? Is it
lower than? Lower
than, greater than,
is neither equal.
So their defense is equal to mine.
Yep.
So they have a 14 physical defense, which means a brutal it would be 24 or higher. But they do have less hit points, so there's that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could fight that guy in the arena and maybe distract them, and you could see about getting an exit point.
At this point, he's gone talking to the overseer, so either all 3 of us are going to fight in the arena, or we need to leave before then.
Or I'm not there, out of character speaking. You could take out the ones that are standing in front of you.
I'm not worried about the snake folks. I'm worried about the droids.
Yeah, and you don't have the knowledge of the worst case scenario is they stun you and throw you in your cell.
Well, Quirk has seen it before, right?
Quirk would know that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, we can zig and a zag. Can I reflect a stun blast with a lightsaber?
Probably.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. You don't see stun blast very often.
But saber reflect when you're this low level is not as good. But yeah.
I know, you need the high ground. I know.
Oh my.
Nice. I actually don't remember what it does.
Well, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, guys? Let's figure this out fast. Quirk, you're a military strategist person, right? What do you think?
Well, I already did. I already tried this. I rolled really bad.
Well, we all have our off days.
And my nat 20 solution ended up with us getting a 3-on-3 in the arena. So I'm also not sure.
After a lot of other rolls, but
yeah.
Well, I mean, I tell them about the doors I saw, right? Or we saw.
Yeah.
Don't know where they go.
All right.
Just splice it.
Well, is there?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still kind of carting around my armor, I think.
Yeah. You probably have it under your...
somewhere...
Mm-hmm.
Well, is there somewhere where I can go some darker corner or something and try to put my armor on underneath my prisoner clothes?
There is a corner for people who have to relieve themselves in this bottom area. It is basically just cornered off slightly. If someone were to walk by, they would still see you. But if you time it right, you could probably do it.
Okay, I have disguise as a trade, so
nice. Yeah,
that'll help.
Mm-hmm.
So, you want me to roll for it?
Yeah, just roll disguise. See if how well you can do this.
Let's see. I think that comes out to be a 13
total.
Yeah, 11, then plus 2 for the trade, right?
Plus the stat for the trade, which disguise is either charisma or intelligence, I think. So you'd probably pick charisma.
Yeah, well, then that would be plus 3, which would make it 14.
14. Oh wait, you said it was 13 before, didn't you?
Well, yeah, it's 11, and I thought I would only add plus 2 for the one dot in the.
It's plus 2 for being proficient in the disguise kit, and then just in disguise, and then another plus 3 for your charisma.
So it should be
total
16.
plus
Okay,
5.
so that would, yes, yeah, so it'd be 16 then total.
16. Okay. Yeah, you're able to go over there. It takes you a bit of time, but no one comes by to relieve themselves while you're in there, and you're able to get it on under your clothes. You are coming towards the end of the exercise period. So what do you do? You head back out?
Yeah. Might as well go back. I feel like there's very little we can do right at the moment. We're so outnumbered.
Alrighty. Then the exercise period ends, and you head back up.
To ourselves?
Roll an awareness on Quark.
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
6 on the die. My awareness. Oh, that'd be a total of 9. Still
9.
Clueless.
You're not proficient in it.
Well, yeah, because it's my.
Oh no, you are proficient. It's your prime plus your proficiency. You get plus 5 total. So
it's that's still 11. Only 11.
Yeah, you don't pick up much. All you pick up is it's in a different language. You don't understand the language, but you swear you hear from this group of Wookiee. You hear one of them say the word Sarneth. Not Sarneth, sorry. Qualri, which strikes you weird because Qualri was one of the names of one of your other traitors that you had within the Sith, one of your network that was feeding information to the Republic. But you don't pick up anything else they say, only the noun.
Okay. How closely observed are we by guards? By droid guards?
All of them can kind of see you, but none of them are looking at you specifically.
But I mean, then I'll just kind of go back over to Asus and Grom and ask them if they know that name.
Do we?
Roll an intelligence. Roll a intelligence. 15 or over. You heard it as part of your contacts when you were working with that thing.
15 exactly.
I got 18.
Both of you heard that name. It is a Zabrak, a male Zabrak that was feeding information to the Republic as well. It's one of the secret transmissions.
Have I been around here long enough to? Have I been around here long enough to know if there's a male Zabrak around?
You don't remember seeing one actually.
Okay.
It's called the you see hear a siren as the droids call down, back to your cells.
Great. Back to ourselves. I glare at Jarak
He stays behind a bit and makes sure that you all go to your cell first.
Is 44 still up there?
44 is just finishing coming out.
Passing 44 as we head into our cells, I'll mutter, if we can get to the hangar before the gladiator thing, that would be great.
When do they normally do the gladiator fights? At night?
Right now you're at the 13th hour, and they usually happen at the 15th hour.
So we go now?
Now that we're all back together, yeah.
We're back together. We managed to lie to the guards who were up by the cells earlier. We survived the exercise hour. And so we think people won't look at us. We could try and go now.
Those guys were intent on beating the crap out of you all, but natural 20s are natural 20s.
Smooth talking.
Well, how are we going to cover ourselves?
Did you Jedi mind trick those guys out of a fight? That's awesome.
Pretty much.
I was aiming for prison riot distraction.
Oh.
But if the DM was planning on a combat that we avoided, I'll take that too. I think we've avoided about 5 combats so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not wrong.
I did forget about that.
Oh.
My bad.
Okay. So how about we get into some combat?
Yeah. I'm gonna pluck some paste stuff out of my facial hair and put it in my mouth. And I'm ready to fight.
Problem is, if we started a combat right now, we'd be here for like at least another hour. So
yeah, I know. It's gonna have to be picked up next time. But
all right, so I come out of the cell, fix the slop dispenser. Are we going?
The droid that's there says, as you come out, the droid says, "Go get yourself fixed. Go to the malfunction bay."
Roger.
And as you're heading away, you pass and have that quick conversation.
What are we doing? What are we doing? We doing this? We're gonna try this? What's happening?
Seems like we'll either have combat leaving the prison or in the gladiator arena, and I don't want to avoid the GM's plans, but I like the former option more.
Otherwise, we get worn down.
Here's the other thing: is if we go now, we're definitely going to get into a fight. If we try to sneak out in the middle of the night, if I come release you guys from your cells in the middle of the night, then we can try to do it stealthily.
That's a good point. Just have to survive the fight.
Well, I mean, Cork knows they don't fight to the death.
Right, but have to still be in shape. Well,
right.
It would have been an accident. Maybe they thought Quirk was dead.
Well, no, he literally said that. He goes, they wouldn't let me kill you. Like he tried to kill him, and they wouldn't let him.
Quark would you would have seen that there had been a couple of deaths, but they tried to avoid it. It's definitely not like given, but it's pretty uncommon for someone to actually die.
Yeah, because I imagine they're just standing there waiting to stun as soon as it gets out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We'll have to hide or refrain from using the lightsabers, but that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you've got the FOF.
I do have the FOF.
Get in your cells and one of the guards come up.
All right, fine.
Yeah, get in your cells. I parrot them.
I'm like, I need some more paste. I'm hungry.
Your dispenser has been fixed. All right.
Can I retcon something? When I was fixing his dispenser, it now dispenses like 4 times as much slime.
Yes.
Sure.
That should empower me.
I think
I should have advantage in the
rolled.
first attack round.
Okay.
It took you an hour to fix it, but
okay.
You get in there and there's already like a pool of paste in there. It's just kind of constantly squirting out now.
Oh, after I say get in your cell, as I'm walking away, I go, and that's your walk.
That was really good.
That was good.
Yeah. He practices in front of a mirror. You go into
You're
your
welcome
cells.
For the extra slime, that is.
Yeah. The force fields turn on, and one of the droids come down and says, goes between your two cells, Grom and Asus, and says, "You have been," or sorry, it's one of the protocol droids, the bipedal droids, comes up and says, "You have been challenged, and you must fight in the gladiator arena. This will happen in 2 hours from now." And then walks over to Quark without even waiting for your reply. "You have been challenged. You will fight in 2 hours
Grom's
from
gonna,
now."
I challenge you, protocol droid.
It ignores. And then it says, "You will be the second fight." Goes back over to you two, Aces and Grom, because I forgot. He says, "You will be the second fight."
Oh, so there's more than one fight today. That's exciting.
Well, you will be the third fight.
I go to start placing. I go wherever you place bets on the fight.
To the protocol droid. May I ask a question?
No, as it starts walking away. You can try, though, if you want.
No, I'll just ask Quark.
It goes off. So,
All right. So I guess we wait until
anything?
the gladiator
Okay.
fight.
You are swimming in nutrient paste at this point. You got so much. It's just
Powered
like
up.
a leaky pipe at this point.
Ooh, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
sure
save
enough.
some of the paste.
Save
and
some
hide
for
it
later.
like it's a
You put it
fur.
in your pocket.
I'm gonna use it as a weapon. I'm gonna put it in their eyes.
Oh man.
It's almost 15. Do any of you do anything prepare, like anything with your lightsabers or anything like that?
I'll make sure that my lightsaber is like very secure where I have it hidden, because I am going to try not to use it during the fight, but I don't want it to fall off of me, and I do want to keep it on me.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, meditate, maybe go through like some martial arts forms.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I'm also gonna secure my lightsaber where I have it, and because I don't want it swinging all over the place in combat and smacking people.
In your prison wallet.
What's that?
Prison wallet. Yeah. The 44, roll an awareness real quick. And what about Quark? Doing anything? Are you going to wear your armor underneath your prison garb?
Oh my god.
Well,
Being
yeah,
disguised?
but was there ever a point in time when only 4D4 was there with us? There were no other droids around?
Not really. Not in this
very
case,
beginning.
unfortunately.
Okay.
Like when I first opened
I mean,
it.
like before we started the whole thing, yeah. What did I step on? Oh, I can't.
Oh, you asked me to do an awareness.
Yeah.
I crit it.
Oh, wow. As you're working on this feeding tube, you clock something. You clock that there is on your way back, you clock that there is a dismantled, broken droid under Ace's bed. But just something you're aware of.
Okay.
You imagine that would probably be caught eventually, but it's really well hidden, actually. All right. The hour 15 comes, and the doors open. There's the little ramps up to the railing of the block you're on. There's a force field that appears at the ramp, not letting anyone down, but everyone appears to be able to come out to the railing to watch. As a protocol droid flanked by 3 guard droids come up the railing, it opens up, they go through, and they come to your 3 cells and say, "It is time. Come. Follow."
Wonderful. So are we given protection, weapons, anything
No.
like that? Okay.
And then follow, and they start heading down towards the arena. If you, assuming you follow, the ramp opens for you. You head down, and
I'll walk next to Quark and go, anything you can share with us about how this all works? I've not done any arena fights before.
Quark, you know that they pretty much are like no rules once the fighting starts, and they don't even say that you can't kill the person, but they do stop you the moment they notice that someone's knocked out, which ends up being that some people die. But
are there any living beings here other than the fighters? Like, is there a living audience?
Not that you can see, but as you start heading down, you do know that there is a hologram that appears of a old ancient race you've never seen before, that starts acting as an announcer for the whole thing. And it seems to reference an audience as it talks. But you see no audience. In Rakata. So maybe you don't Rex that, but
so I'm torn between watching the fight. Okay.
Yeah. One last thing. There is an audience, the other prisoners up on the railing watching.
Okay. Yeah. Well, then I'll turn to Asus and go, make a good show of it.
Great, yeah, I can do that. Sure, that's what all my Jedi training has been for. Making a good show. Yeah.
As you guys are leaving your cells with the protocol droids, I walk by and I mutter under my breath, "I bet on the other guys." Ha 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 ha.
The only people you could bet with are the other prisoners, but your droid probably would. All right, so you get down there, and as you head down towards the arena, the droids tell you to get in the arena, and you see, or sorry, before you get into the arena, they tell you to wait there, and you see another fight. Two fighters get into the arena. You see the what is that pig race again? The
Gamoran.
No, the Gamoran. Yeah, the bigger pigs.
Oh,
you
the
see the
Gamorreans.
Gamorreans get in with that Trandoshan that you were a fan of as they enter the ring, and you see an announcer get up and start giving his Rakata. It's this giant blue hologram of a Rakata with its elongated head, mouth at the bottom, and two eye stalks coming out. And he starts going through an announcement. Anyone who speaks Rakata will see he's talking about the grand fight that's going to happen for the entire galaxy to watch. Prepare for these the snake-like Trandoshans, the primitive Trandoshans, and the ape-like. Sorry, it's not a human. It's and the pig-like Galorian start to fight. Galorian, that's the name of the world for Pathfinder. Anyway, they Gamorrean, and he gives like an announcement, and they start fighting. They start beating the crap out of each other. Nope. And eventually, the pig, Gamorrean, picks up the Trandoshan and just completely throws him on his back as the Gamorrean, as the Trandoshan gets knocked out. He goes to stomp on the head of the Trandoshan, and the droids ion beams go and knock him out as he falls over. The droid next to the guard droid next to 44 goes, "You take them away."
Wait a minute, I was in the cell. All right, fine. You like that?
Oh wait. You were in what cell?
So when I mentioned I'm torn between watching the fight and going in the cell, yeah. As they're leaving their cells, I'm heading into their cells. I want to go do something with that droid that he concealed.
Oh, okay.
How much time do I think I have?
Okay. That fight, 5 minutes.
And their fight as well, like all fights.
Oh, their fight could go longer, maybe 20 minutes.
Okay. I want to try to conceal that droid better. I don't want it to be found.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a stealth. And if you want, I'll let you use intelligence for this if it's
and if there's any parts that I can take for myself, like anything that
it has a blaster on it. And FOF. Oh no, it doesn't have FOF. You took it. It has a light blaster on it that's built into it, but you have the tools to remove it.
All right, so I'll remove the blaster and I'll hide it in Quirk's cell. under somewhere for him to be able to use.
All right. Roll a fabrication.
Now we'll all have
see
weapons.
if you can. Yeah, roll a fabrication. See if you can makeshift it well enough for him to be able to use.
A dirty 20. I keep rolling 15s. That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, it's perfect. You were able to add like a nice handle and arm strap. I mean, not arm strap, arm brace.
Can I just like take apart the rest of it so that it just, I don't know, maybe I can just trash it, dispose of it?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Sure. You can get it ready for disposal. And then right when you finish that, you hear coming through your comm, 2 bodies to take to the med bay.
Okay. I'll do my duty.
All right. So you go down, you grab the pig and the lizard, and you take it away. The you all see 44 do this, but there's a lot of people around you. And then the announcer gets up. Next up, we have a group of 3 who have decided to challenge each other. Now, get ready for 2 apes and a Wookiee. That's pretty equivalent. Fight some lizards. They seem to have primitive names for each of your races. And the guard droids say, "Get up there," or "Get up there."
Get over here.
Get up there.
Get on up there.
Do these droids have their weapons built into them, or are they holding them like the
They're built in? They're built into the top of them coming up. But 44 just took one off of another droid and fabricated it so you could use it, but left it in your cell. Not that you know that.
All right, let's do this.
Walk out there.
He put some pace. All right.
Aces does kind of like the intersection of really good charisma with has never done this before and doesn't really know how to perform. Kind of like skips a little bit, rolls the shoulders, knows that, or is pretty sure it's not being broadcast. Also doesn't really care about the other prisoners enjoying the fight, but is trying to do the part. Pumps the fist a little.
Roll a they don't have performance, do they? I guess it's influence. Wow, a lot of things would fall under influence, huh?
I'll take it.
The what is it? Natural 1?
Natural 1.
Roll again.
Followed by a 6.
Wow, just barely. It comes off exactly as you said, completely awkward, out of place slightly, and everyone starts chanting.
Coming to the end of puberty, but still has like a little bit of that physical awkwardness.
Everyone starts yelling. You hear a voice being called out, "Hux Toon, Hux Toon, Hux Toon." You realize Hoptua is the name of the Order Trandoshan that gets into the ring. But they set off. They look at you. They're doing the fist in the hand thing, getting ready, and the Order one looks at Quirk and says, "This time you're going to die."
Bum, bum, bum.
As the announcer says, "Fight!" And we'll pick up there next time.
Nice.
Oh,
no. You avoided all the fights I was trying to give you.
the Trandoshan that's unconscious that I'm dragging to the med bay may or may not make it to the med bay. I haven't decided yet. Until next time.
You're actually dragging the Trandoshan, the pig, the Gamorrean, and and a pile of scrap.
Okay.
All behind you.
Yeah, interesting.
Where did you get the pile of scrap from?
He salvaged the droid that was underneath Ace's bunk because he rolled really well in his awareness.
Oh, okay.
All right, so about to fight next time. We got an arena fight. Who knows what else? Who knows? Maybe more paste eating and maybe some escaping, hopefully.
More influence checks if I can pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe this fight will be more interesting than some recent fights that we've seen. Maybe there'll be some action in it.
Oh, I think next one's going to be action-packed. All right.
Yeah.
So thanks, everybody, for watching, and we'll be back here for next episode.
Oh, wrong thing. Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Good night, folks.
Good night.
When the dice roll high, we touch the sky. But when they crash, it's a belly laugh. Genre play, lighting